All right. Are we live? Are we live now? Yes. Yes, we are. We are now live. This is Xaybeast Live episode 2. No one is currently watching, but I'm sure someone will join in a second. But yeah, welcome to Xaybeast Live episode 2. First of all, I want to thank everyone for the great feedback on episode 1. I really appreciated that. And that was just so fun to do. The fact that I sat there for 2 hours and not once was I bored talking to a webcam, that is something to be praised. Like, that was just, I mean, not giving me praise, but like, I'm praising you guys. Like, that was, we had some great conversations, and that was just a ton of fun. And I hope that we can continue that throughout wherever Xaybeast Live goes. This is just episode 2. I don't know what the future of this looks like. Now, on the previous stream, I had certain things that I wanted to talk about, certain big topics that I wanted to discuss, and I kind of have that here, maybe. Like, I'm not sure. I don't have any big topics, just little things that I hope might come up in conversation. Like, I have a couple things sitting here that I might want to talk about. But I think I'm going to wait for a few more people to join. So, you know, we can have just more than one person commenting. But I do see that one person is watching right now. And to whoever you are, leave me a comment right now and just see if we can spark up a conversation while I search my endless library to find something. Yeah, so let's continue that. I guess there are some things that I didn't cover in the previous stream that maybe no, I pretty much covered everything. So I'm like scrambling in the dirt now, like I'm trying to find. And like I said, there are certain things that, you know, I might want to talk about. Oh, okay. When I did the first, this is just something to start off. When I first for the first episode of Xaybeast Live, I don't know if I talked about this video. If you don't know, I started a new segment called Recollection, in which I look back on a series of movies that I just reviewed, and each season of Recollection is dedicated to one series of movies, and each episode is dedicated to one act of each movie. So, for example, I just started my Recollection series on the Maze Runner trilogy. Episode 1 is analyzing only the first act of the first film. And then episode 2 will analyze the second act of the first film, episode 3, third act of the first film, episode 4, first act of the second film, and so on. I'm really dreading doing that on the Harry Potter films because there are 8 films in that and 3 episodes for each film. Dude, that's a 24 episode season, which I guess is like a normal amount for any normal TV season. So, you know, maybe that'll be, I don't know, because season 1, because the Maze Runner trilogy, it's only 3 movies. Like, that's only 9 episodes, which I'm not knocking that, I guess, because a lot of, like, really successful TV seasons got successful because of the first season, and a lot of times the first season doesn't have many episodes. Like, I think the first season of Lost only had, like, 13 episodes. No, first season of Dawson's Creek only had 13 episodes. First season of Lost only had, like what, 12? According to my friends, I'm pretty sure the first season of The Walking Dead only had, like, 9 episodes. So yeah, that's, I guess, I don't know. But this is also a web series, like Recollection is a web series, so it's nowhere near on the level of those shows. The bar has been set. I am better than AMC and ABC. AMC is Walking Dead, ABC is Lost, and Once Upon a Time, but let's be honest, Once Upon a Time isn't the best. So yeah, I am better than AMC and ABC. No, I'm not. Never mind. No bar has been set. No bar whatsoever. But yeah, so I am going to. I've already put the word out that episode 2 is airing. I feel like the fact that this episode is so overdue. Like the first, I feel like this is like off center or something. I don't know. I feel like since the first episode of this episode was so overdue. Like I was supposed to do this last week, maybe even 2 weekends ago, and I just skipped. Maybe people thought, oh, he's not sticking to it. Like he made promises and he just didn't keep them. I'm sorry, but things were just not really going well. Not in my life. My life was going fine, but it was more just technical stuff. For example, the cord for my Mac broke, like just the cord, not the box itself. And so I had to order a new one, but I didn't have the money for a new one, so I had to save up just a little bit, and then so I could order a new one, which got here conveniently enough today. Like today, I was like, it's another Saturday, I need to do the live, and I got my Mac, and it was only at 20%. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to stream for 2 hours on 20%, and I don't have a charger that'll hold it up for me. And then right as I said that, right as I thought that, mail truck comes by, I walk out there, and bam, there's the new charger, which, by the way, the new charger for this laptop, I plugged this thing in like an hour ago at 20%, and it's already at 100%. I got a really high-powered charger, and I love it, and it's 6 feet long, so, yeah. That's how it's able to stretch right now, because the cord is literally stretching from right here all the way to the the other wall, the corner of the other wall. It's weird. Like the place where it's plugged in is on like this side, like this wall right here, but it stretches all the way to the other side. Why are we talking about this? This has nothing to do with stuff. So certain topics that I wanted to discuss, just to throw some stuff out there. Because the last time I had a 30-day film challenge, and it was 30 questions about film, and that kept us discussing things. I don't have anything like that, so I'm just going to list off some topics. Jeez, I can't speak today. I just wanted to list off some topics that I wanted to discuss. Video game movies. Trying to think. I'm like, I want to list off some topics, and then I just list off one. Video game movies, because I've been playing quite a bit of games over the past few weeks, and I just wanted to think about that. I'll check the comments here in a second, and then my Sarah series, episode 2 of my Sarah series is going to be coming, so maybe we could talk about those movies a little bit, because something that's kind of exclusive with this live stream is I get to tell you things that viewers who don't watch the live stream won't get until they watch the videos that I upload a day or like a few days or maybe even a week later. Mortal Kombat. Yes, there is a new Mortal Kombat film currently in production. So let's look that up. I looked at the cast, and there's not really any recognizable names. Maybe some of you guys will recognize this, but let's pull this up right here. Let's pull up the IMDb. The new Mortal Kombat 2020 film, which, by the way, it says 2020. Is it coming out in 2020? Like towards the end of the year? It can't come out now, obviously. Whoa. 1 second. Did it already come out? Let me look at this cast. Okay, so there are 2 new Mortal Kombat movies. This one is an animated Mortal Kombat film. It's rated R still, but it's called Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge. And this is actually really surprising. It has a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, which, if you know IMDb standards, that is pretty high. But no, there was supposed to be a live action one that was coming out, I thought, because someone... Hey, Cooper, what's up, man? Let's see. 2021. An animated Mortal Kombat came out this year, and then the live-action one is coming out in 2021. So let's see what Wikipedia has to offer me. Mortal Kombat is an upcoming 2021 American martial arts fantasy action film directed by Simon McCoy and his feature directorial debut. That's a big franchise to introduce yourself to. From a screenplay by Greg Russo and Dave Callahan, and that's a recognizable name, and a story by Oren Uziel and Russo. It is based on the video game franchise of the same name created by Ed Boon and serves serves as a reboot to the Mortal Kombat film series following 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which is an abomination of cinema. The original Mortal Kombat, that's a bad movie, but at least you can watch it and be entertained. and I won't lie, there are good moments in the original Mortal Kombat. There are some moments where I'm like, that's not terrible. The movie itself, no, but Mortal Kombat Annihilation has no redeeming qualities. Like, nothing. Throughout that entire film, because the entire film was shot almost entirely on green screen studios, throughout the entire film, not only is it obvious that it's green screen, you can see not just the outline around the people, but the outline bleeding onto the people. For example, if I had a green screen behind me, but I had some green on my clothing, it would also key out the green, and it would be like you could see through me, like these messed up pixelated spots. That's what almost the entirety of Mortal Kombat Annihilation is like. And what's even scarier is that was approved. Like, they went back and did test screenings, watched that, and said, yes, that's what I want to release in theaters. I mean, that's just completely giving up. Like, that's just, I have a feeling they were like, we know this movie isn't good. What does it matter if that's bad? Let's just release it, because maybe the movie's bad, but the universe needs to be there for future installments. So we just need to get this stuff established. I can't speak from like a professional standpoint, but I don't know. Because a lot of film studios in the 90s, especially with video game movies, they didn't necessarily make the smartest decisions. You know a video game movie that I want to see? You know a video game that I think would make a fantastic film? Infamous. Now, you might be laughing at me right now, but this game, I've been playing it. Dude, this is an insanely good story. Like, make this into a movie. And I'm not one of those people who's like, make everything into a movie. You don't need to make everything into a franchise, Hollywood. But Infamous, this game came out in 2009. So a lot of time has passed. If you made a movie about it right now, that would be great. Like, think about it. The Tomb Raider video game started in the 90s. And they developed a huge fan base. And then the two Angelina Jolie films came out, which, granted, are entertaining in their own right, but not really the best movies. I mean, let's be honest here. Those movies were basically eye candy. But then the Alicia Vikander reboot came out in 2018. And that was a huge hit. Like, people really liked that movie, myself included. I got the Blu-ray back there. So they took a lot of time away from the Tomb Raider franchise and then made another movie about it, and it was really good. So do that with Infamous. Infamous came out in 2009, came out 11 years ago. Make an Infamous movie. That is a really deep story. Like, for example, how people were refreshed by, what was it? People were refreshed by Unbreakable, and how that is technically a superhero film, technically a comic book film. It's not based on a comic book, but comic books are a huge part of it. That is technically a superhero film. In fact, the pitch was, imagine Superman. Like, what if it was Superman, but he did not know that he was Superman? And Unbreakable was incredible. Do that with Infamous, because this guy is just thrown into this thing. He's trying to wrap it around his head, and he just can't figure it out. Like, that would be a great, great movie. I want to see an Infamous movie. It was pretty bad. I had such high hopes. Wasn't the worst video game movie of all time, though. Are you talking about Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Which one are you talking about there? Because, yeah, both of them are bad, but Annihilation is by far the worst one. What is the worst video game movie you've seen? Because you're saying it's not the worst video game movie. I just thought of the Super Mario Brothers video game movie. That was a movie. Yeah, that was a thing. What was that movie? That is an hour and a half of my life that I'm just never going to get back. That was such a waste of time. I hated that movie. I hated it. It's not even like Annihilation, where you can watch it and just laugh at the hilarity of it. The Super Mario Brothers movie is just a steaming pile of crap that they shoved out into theaters because they were like, it almost felt like a rights retaining movie. Like they were just like, we own this and we want to keep on owning this and we want to keep on promoting this. So let's just make a movie. Let's just make a movie, put it out into theaters, people will see it and they'll know that we own this franchise. That's not the way to go, man. That's not. Plus, why would you make a Super Mario Bros. Movie? Like, I think that would be a good, like, Annihilation. Okay, so you were talking about Annihilation. Super Mario's would be a good animated film, like an animated family film, but making it like a 1980s superhero action adventure thing that has no action and no adventure and characters that aren't even worthy of sidekick title status. What, like, was the Super Mario movie the 80s or the 90s? I have a feeling it was the 80s. Let's look here. (1993) came out the same dang year as Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park. I hope I didn't break that. Don't worry. It like rolled across my bed and yeah, it's fine. Is Pixels a video game movie? Yes, I would call Pixels a video game movie. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Pixels. I really, really had a great time watching that movie. When I thought back on it, that is a horrible movie. That movie is trash. Here's the thing, though. I would not say it's worse than Annihilation because Pixels, aside from that giant face in the sky, had better visual effects, better green screen, better performances, honestly, and sadly enough, a more believable plot. And it's weird saying that because, like, it's almost like unfair to say that Mortal Kombat isn't believable because it's Mortal Kombat. Like, that's like saying the Harry Potter universe is too unrealistic. You can't say that for that universe because that is just like the set in stone of that universe. You just have to accept that universe and accept that magic exists. But I'm still going to say that Mortal Kombat Annihilation is just not believable, even within the confines of that universe alone. Like, they messed with their own continuity, and it just didn't work. If we're talking about actual, like, logical, constructive criticism, critiques of that film, I'm not going to waste my time professionally critiquing that film because I don't want to waste my time talking about it anymore. So we are just going to move right back on to some good video game movies because, believe it or not, there are some good video game movies out there. Tomb Raider 2018. Like, are there any other good video game movies? Are there any other good video game movies? I'm trying to think. Ugh. Like, what the heck? I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of which, we're 20 minutes into this and only 2 people are watching. Well, that's great. Seriously, like, the last time, by the time I was, like, 10 minutes in, I had, like, 10 people watching. I guess it must have been just because, this episode took so long to come out, and I skipped 2 weekends. But it's back. I mean, it's back, people. Come on in, you know, like, things like that, you know, it's fun. Just support me, please, because, you know, I'm desperate. You know, yeah. I can hear, because my parents are watching this stream out there, and I can hear it, and there is such a delay. Like, I wish there wasn't a big I wish there wasn't such a big delay, because I'm hearing things out there that I've said in this stream, and I said them like 5 minutes ago. So that is the delay with the comments. Like, if you comment and then I don't see it for a minute, that is because of that delay. So, on to the next topic. We talked about video game movies. Well, actually, let's stay on that topic because I think it's an interesting discussion. Comment and let me know what video game you think would make a good movie that hasn't already been made into a film, like Tomb Raider or Mortal Kombat or Mario or what are the other ones? There's something else. Max Payne. That's the only thing I could think of. So yeah, what is a video game that hasn't been adapted into a film or a TV show? Because that also does happen. What is a video game that hasn't been adapted into a film or a TV show that you would like to see as a movie? Resident Evil first one. The first Resident Evil game, because there is an endless series of Resident Evil movies that actually did end with Resident Evil the Final Chapter. There are Resident Evil films, but they don't follow the stories of the games. So you're talking about the story of the first Resident Evil game. Yeah, I've actually played the first Resident Evil game. Back when we lived up in New York, we had it. It was in the same casing as the Tomb Raider stuff. But that was actually, like, despite the obviously very dated graphics, that was actually like a pretty good game. Like, I really liked it. It was a great take on the survival horror genre. But yeah, the first one would make a good movie. But the actual Resident Evil films that we got did not follow that storyline. And if you like those movies, okay, I mean, if you're entertained by them. I hate those movies though. They're so sloppily directed, sloppily edited, especially Resident Evil the Final Chapter, like the last film in the Resident Evil series. The median shot length in that film had to have been no more than 1 second. I'm not even kidding. It's constant, just cut. Like, you can't even tell what's going on half the time. Ah, man. Resident Evil the Final Chapter is easily the worst Resident Evil film. I will say that. That was just not good. Not good. I'm just thinking about it right now. Not good. Give us an Infamous movie, please. Please give us please just Infamous. Please. That would be a good video game movie. We've already got Jurassic World. Tomb Raider, we already got that. Don't make a Call of Duty movie, because that would suck. Yeah, we're not making a Call of Duty movie. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have some new additions to my background. 2 little dino figures right here, and then a sweet Kylo Ren figure. This actually wasn't originally mine. This is something that was actually purchased for a family member of mine, and it was just sitting in the storage area for like a year, and I don't know if it was actually that long, but I think it was like a year, maybe even 2, and it was given to me because it looks amazing, like just flippin' awesome in this background, man. Here. You got to be gentle with it. You got to be gentle with the Adam Driver. This, and it even comes with the mask and everything. Say what you want about the sequel trilogy. I like that trilogy. People are saying that the prequels are better than the sequel trilogy. Not even true. I mean, film is subjective, but you're wrong, basically. So yeah, the sequel trilogy is, in my opinion, better than the prequels. But yeah, really sick Kylo Ren thing here. And watch this. Come on, you make noise, don't you? Oh, I turned him off. There we go.
I need your guidance.
Can do anything else?
I'm impressed. You underestimate my powers. Perhaps Leader Snoke should consider using a clone army. I'm impressed. You underestimate my powers.
Okay, let's put you back up there. Ah! That didn't happen. Dang it, this is live. That was on purpose. That was strictly on purpose. That was not unplanned in the slightest. That was completely and utterly intentional. Okay, so we're gonna get back to the stream now. Still only 2 people watching. I put the word out. Where are my where's my phone? Where is, oh, that's right, I chucked it across the room. One thing though, I am prepared this time with water, because a lot of people, like a lot of talk shows, they normally have a coffee mug, but I can't do that in my room, just for risk of staining things. So I have my water bottle, awesome Jaws cup, which I guess fits my channel a little bit more. So I have that to do. I'm hoping at some point to have guests like on the show, like push the camera back so that 2, or maybe even I could like sit over here and I had someone sitting right here, because there needs to be something to like bounce off of, the comments with 2 people watching it's just not enough. Like I need someone or something to be project off of. I don't know exactly what I'm saying there, but I guess I can, this is really bad for live television. I'm gonna walk over to the other side of my room and get my phone. Just so you know, I'm gonna preface this. I am wearing pajama pants right now because I just don't care. Digital school officially ended yesterday, even though I completed all of my assignments before that. But this isn't supposed to be an insanely professional thing. This is supposed to be chill and we can just talk like friends, because we are friends. And not just for viewers like you. So I'm going to get my phone because this table that the thing is on, it is insanely close to my chair. Like, if I just stand up, I will hit it. Plus, just for live's sake, pajama pants are just not professional. But like I said, this is not a professional stream. So what I have to do normally to get out of this area when I'm not on camera is stand completely on top of my chair and then, step over it. But I have to get my phone to carry this stream. So you guys are just going to have to deal with this. There we go. I got my phone and I am back streaming, beaming. Let's do this. All right, so the other day, or yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I made a post on Instagram asking you guys to choose what movie you wanted me to review this weekend. And I chose 3 classic thrillers. Now let me lower the brightness so that the stream camera can pick this up. I went with Psycho, Jaws, and Jurassic Park, and I asked you guys to comment and say which one you wanted me to review. And only 1 person commented, Review Stream, thank you very much. And they said Psycho. Only 1 person commented, but 3 people liked the post. I'm guessing they didn't read the caption, because if they had read the caption, they would have gone down to the comments and told me which one to review. So I'm going to do this here. Out of Psycho, Jaws, and Jurassic Park, which one do you want me to review this weekend? Because I'm going to review one of them. So far, 1 person voted for Psycho, and only 1 person commented, and it was Psycho. So right now, Psycho is what I'm doing. But I've made the thumbnails for all 3, so just comment. Let me know what you want me to review, and I will do that. I will show you the thumbnails right here because I have all of them. We have the Jaws thumbnail, Psycho thumbnail, and Jurassic Park thumbnail. I think the Jurassic Park thumbnail is my favorite out of them. Like, that's the one I'm most proud of because I like the background I got for that. It just screams Jurassic Park. So yeah. Yep. Okay, so here's the deal. If I'm reviewing a movie that is not a new release, I need the Blu-ray. Like, I want the Blu-ray to be able to prop up on my little proppy thing back there so that it's in the background of the video, because it just looks much better. However, if I'm reviewing a terrible movie, like, say, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I am not spending my money on that. I refuse to give my money to that. I mean, that's just... I mean, you might as well just give your money to a terrorism cause. Like, I'm not spending my money on Mortal Kombat Annihilation. But if I do review that movie, I will gladly... I'm sure it's free somewhere like Netflix or Tubi. Tubi has a lot of great stuff. Don't watch movies on bootleg sites. I find that so disrespectful to the filmmakers. Just don't. Like, just don't. Because they stream them in terrible quality. Don't ask me how I know. They stream them in terrible quality, and it's not, like, it's disrespectful. Like, imagine if Christopher Nolan, walked into a room, and some, I don't know, 12-year-old was watching The Dark Knight on his phone on, I don't know, 0123movies.com, a bootleg movie site. Say they were watching The Dark Knight in 360p, on a bootleg movie site on their phone. You don't watch The Dark Knight. Okay, first of all, you don't even purchase it legally and watch it on your phone. You need to watch that at a minimum of a 30-inch TV. That's just a fact. Like if you do it any other way, unless you're on like an airplane and you're watching it on your laptop or whatever, it's just disrespectful. Like, just don't do that. I sound so like petty right now. Like, it's disrespectful. How dare you watch a movie on a phone? No, I mean I'm not gonna judge you if you do, even though I will. And it's just I don't see it. Have I ever watched a movie on my phone? Yes, I have. So I am guilty of it, but not for like a few years, because eventually I realized, like, wait, that is not the way I should be viewing these things. 3 people watching now. Yeah, we are 30 minutes into this stream and only 3 people are. Episode 1 was so success. Like that was a very successful episode. Like, people actually watched it, and there's only... Can I see who's watching right now? Let's go to the stats for episode 1 of Xaybeast Live. Let's go here. Xaybeast Live episode 1, 39 views, 39 people watched that, and it streamed 1 week ago. 1 week ago? Hey, so maybe I am on time. Yay. Let's see how big the delay is by watching it on here. It's just gonna keep on like... I'm watching... Do you hear this? I'm watching my own live stream on my phone, and this is completely... You can... Gosh, that was painful. That was really painful. But yeah, I guess I should preface a little bit, like how I did with episode 1. So, things you can ask me. You can ask me anything, keeping in mind that my channel is revolving around the entertainment industry. You know, like movies, music, games, books, and anything in the entertainment industry, you can ask me about that. Also, keeping in mind that my channel is mainly surrounded with movies. like movies is the main topic, movies and video games, and then books and music are very secondary, but I mean, that doesn't mean I love them any less. I love books and movies. I have a like my own little library down here. So yeah, you just ask me anything, or if you want to ask like a personal question, it's like, hey, what's your favorite color? Or I don't know. Don't ask me where I live. Actually, if you ask me where I live, I will answer that. I mean, I know where you live. All of you watching right now, I know where all of you live. In a house. Bam! You ask me where I live, I say in a house. Technically, I answered it, and technically, that is the exact correct answer. I'm not going to give you my address. My address is actually 123 Middle of Nowhere Lane. So if you want to find me and murder me, that is the address to go to. Thank you very much, creepy people of the internet. Yeah, so let's move on to the next topic. I want to do... Okay, so I just looked. Screen Rant just uploaded the John Wick pitch meeting. Do you watch those pitch meeting videos? They are hilarious. They are so funny. It's like the most satirical take on any movie, and they just uploaded the pitch meeting for the very first John Wick film. Now, I would watch it right here, and you guys could see my reaction to it, but sometimes they use a little bit of language and the story of John Wick. Well, there's nothing inappropriate that happens in John Wick. You know what? I'm going to risk it because the chances of you guys actually hear, and I actually don't think they normally use language. So we're going to do this now. John Wick pitch meeting. Just so you know, I love the first John Wick film. Like, I love that film with a burning passion. So now I'm going to watch them rip it to shreds.
So, you have a movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. And I think this would be the perfect vehicle for Keanu Reeves. Well, actually, we make movies, not cars, but thanks so much for coming in. No, it's like an expression, right? Like a star vehicle. Oh, a star vehicle. Yeah, like a spaceship. No, we don't make spaceships, but thanks so much for coming in. Okay, I have a movie that would be great for Keanu Reeves. Oh, well, you should have led with that. What's the movie? Okay, good. So it's called John Wick, right? And it follows this guy named John Wick. That explains the title, making a lot of sense so far. Yeah, and so at the beginning of the movie, his wife dies. Oh, what does she die of? She dies of being the wife of the main character in an action movie. Oh, yeah, that can't be deadly. Yeah, so she arranges to have a puppy delivered to John so he can have something to love after she's gone. Very adorable. Yeah, and so he starts to take care of this dog, right? He feeds it cereal because he doesn't have dog food yet, and he takes it on a joyride around an airport and probably gives it some whiplash. What? But while he's out, he goes to...
Okay. Here's the thing. I would have continued that reaction if I hadn't remembered a scene in the movie. Probably the best scene in the first John Wick is the nightclub shootout scene. Unfortunately, I don't want to hear what they're going to say about that because, like, I don't know what they're going to say. So far, this episode has been much worse than episode 1. For example, let me just say, 5 people were watching this when I started that reaction. And in that time, 2 people left. Maybe I focus on stats too much, but comments are what keep this stream going. Like, without that, I have nothing to base this off of. I'm just going to talk about a bunch of random crap for the entire stream, and then, like, it's just not going to be a good stream. And we're already almost 40 minutes into this thing. Like, ask me questions. Like, live streams, they are Q&As. Ask me questions, please. Let me comment like I did last time. There. Ask anything. Ask anything there. You can ask absolutely, positively anything. Like I said before. Maybe my comment will help with the fact that it's highlighted and everything. See, I keep on going back to this because I need to find something to talk about. I was much more prepared for episode 1. That is definitely certain. Episode 2, not as much, and I think it's painfully obvious. I don't know, man. My 1-year anniversary of being on YouTube is coming up. I'm fairly certain. Let me see when the very first video on Xaybeast Studios was released. Let me see. I have to go like way, way back. My very first video was a movie review for the film Nightcrawler, and that was released on June 22nd, 2019. It is currently May. June is June is next month. So on June 22nd, I'm going to publish my 1-year anniversary video. Yeah. Look at this cringy. This is just to compare of what my channel was like back then to what it's like now. I'm going to show you my original intro in all of its horrible glory. Enjoy. My voice! Listen to my voice.
Story of a man named Louis Bloom who gets into the industry of night crawling, which is an industry where you go around and you film crime scenes, maybe it's just an accident, and you sell this footage to news stations so that they can broadcast it on the morning
No,
news.
shut up, shut up. Oh my god. I can't even begin to explain how horrible my older videos were. Listen, when you start YouTube, your first videos are always going to be your worst ones. But sitting there watching that, my voice, listen to my voice now. This is my voice now. Did you hear my voice then? What the heck? It was just, that was scary. And the old theme music was just some iMovie stock theme music. It was just dun 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 dun, and everyone knows that riff because so many people use iMovie and so many people use that exact music. But basically, and then now the theme song I have now, which I use in my movie reviews, I composed that actually. There's this great website called Soundtrap. I went there. A lot of people use GarageBand. Like, you're thinking, dude, you have a Mac. Why aren't you using GarageBand? Like, what the heck is that about? I don't really like GarageBand. I don't really like how it operates, to be honest. It's just unbearably, not necessarily confusing. It's just, it doesn't have the resources that I need. So I went to Soundtrap, and my theme music is something that I compose. Yours truly. I know. Thank you very much. Have you heard anything about Bloodshot? Thinking about renting it tonight. I've heard a lot about Bloodshot. Film is subjective. Film is quite subjective. I've heard only terrible things. Like I'm just gonna get that out of the way. People say that it is a horrible movie, but that it is extremely entertaining. It has 31% on the good old RT. Bloodshot gives Vin Diesel a solid opportunity to indulge in old-school action that should satisfy fans, even if the end result is disappointingly mediocre. I've heard it described as like a 90s, like a full-blown, cheesy 90s movie, like if Bloodshot was a movie made in the 90s. So, you want to rent it tonight? That'd be great. That would be some great, great entertainment. But just know that maybe it won't be the best movie. Let's read some other reviews here. Bloodshot is a trash compactor of a comic book film, but it's smart trash, an action matrix that is fun to plug into. A pretty good sci-fi plot idea is mostly ruined by mindless action sequences, vacant characters, and a need to completely wring the life out of whatever cleverness the movie might once have had. So much of it is typical of the superhero genre, it is hard to summon any more enjoyment from it. Now here's someone who gave it a good review. They gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Bloodshot is a decent attempt that scores on its ambitious sci-fi imagination and a superhero who is always ready for the action. There you go. The action, save for many moderately cool slow motion shots and a protracted fight sequence that takes place in a glassed-in elevator shaft, is for the most part murky, chaotic, and hard to follow. Despite this film's PG-13 rating, families may well choose to draw a line with Vin Diesel's latest bloody actioner. There you go, maybe pushing the boundaries of what you can show in PG-13. Despite the odd strong moment, this bloodshot is anemic. Anemic? I don't know. Vin Diesel brings the right of balance of contemplativeness, and I can't even read that, to this action film. So, general, just normal audience members gave it, on average, 4 out of 5 stars. Critics trashed it, and a lot of audience members trashed it too. But, I don't know. Take that what you will. Some people love it. Some people, I don't think anyone loves it. Some people like it. Some people hate it. I'm losing my voice right now. I think it's because I'm talking way too loud. But that's why we have wonderful, wonderful water. And also, to contradict that idiotic YouTube algorithm, please go ahead and hit the like button on this stream. That really helps that algorithm. It boosts the stream a little bit. So topics to discuss. Movies, obviously. In fact, me and my family watched an indie horror film last night. It was called Dark Was the Night, and the poster was very enticing, and the premise was very enticing. And so we weren't planning, we weren't planning to watch a movie that night. I had already watched 2 movies that day. Cool, gotta be better than Dark Was the Night. Here's the thing. I don't think I hated Dark Was the Night as much as you guys did. There were parts of that movie that I found there were parts that I found slightly effective. There were things that were happening that while they were happening, I was like, that's a good idea. But it doesn't make any sense. The reason it's happening doesn't make any sense. No spoilers, in case any of you are extremely passionate about watching Dark Was the Night. No spoilers, but at the end of the film, the entire climax takes place in a church. There's this big blizzard outside. These people are taking cover in a church from these things outside. And there's this part where all the lights are off. It is completely dark. And the guy is hiding under the church benches. He kind of tripped. I don't know what that was. But he ends up under the church benches. And the only light is the moonlight coming in from the windows. And he's grabbing the back of each bench and sliding along the floor while grabbing it, while also looking out to the side, seeing the thing's feet walking. And I was like, that is sick. That is a really cool idea. That is awesome. But it makes no sense in that movie. I would love to see that idea in another film. But not in Dark Was the Night, because it made no sense why he was there in the first place. It was very lazily executed. But I don't think I hated it as much as you guys did. I thought there are things that I hated. Some of the line delivery towards the end was truly atrocious. 1 second. Go, protect the people. Dude, have you seen Superman 4? Have you seen Superman 4, The Quest for Peace? That moment reminded me, very negatively so, of Superman 4. When Nuclear Man is destroying a bunch of things and people are dying, Superman just runs out into the street and he literally goes, "Stop, no, the people!" Or "Stop, don't the people." And I'm not kidding, that's exactly how he says it. That guy is a great actor. Christopher Reeves, right? Please don't tell me I got the actor for Batman wrong. Please don't tell me. Christopher Reeve, yes. Christopher Reeve, he's great as Superman, but that line delivery was god-awful. When he said that, he literally just said, "Stop, don't, the people." or like he yelled it more. He was like, "Stop! Don't the people!" And it was like, oh, like that was just suffering. You know when Yoda once said that fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering? Yeah, that was basically that movie. Basically, I mean, that's all I would describe it as. I don't really think it deserves to go any deeper than that. Here's the thing. Fear leads to hate, hate leads to anger, anger leads to suffering. I feared going into it. I was angry while I was watching it. I hated myself after finishing it because I undeniably suffered. There you go. That was basically Superman 4. But back to Dark Was the Night. The opening of Dark Was the Night was actually fairly strong. It had a couple cliched moments, but it was effective. Like, it was well done, those first 5 or 6 minutes or so. And surprisingly graphic for a PG-13 film. In fact, was it PG-13? It had a limited release in theaters, and it had a PG-13 release in theaters. The one that we watched, which was on Amazon, that was actually not rated because it was just an indie film. But that opening part, you know, like where the people are picked off one by one and the guy gets in the car and the thing breaks in through the back and you see like the blood splatter on the windshield, like as it pans over. That was a pretty effective moment. I think we were all on board. We were all like, ooh, like whoa, like what was that? Like we were actually getting into it. And even a little bit afterwards, it was fairly effective. The color palette was insanely pretentious, though, I gotta say. Love the destroying hands. The destroying hands. Oh! Okay, 1 second. Guys, I am not as well versed. Okay. So, ultimately, Dark Was the Night was effective at times. There were tons of brilliant ideas that were executed so badly. Like, it didn't even make sense that they were hiding in the church. Like, these things are, like, running loose all over this town. It's like the middle of the night, there's a huge snowstorm, and these two cop friends are inside, and they're like, everyone's in home, is everyone safe? And then the cop's like, we should bring everyone outside and walk everyone to the church and hide everyone in the church. You're going to bring the last remaining survivors of your town, which is currently overrun by these creatures. You're going to bring them all outside and walk them all through town to get to the church. Of course they're gonna die. And again, no spoilers. It doesn't necessarily play out with all the people dying, but it is so dumb. There's also tons of time. This guy is a cop, okay? This guy's a cop. And there are so many times when he either doesn't bring his gun with him or it's just strapped to his hip. And you're just thinking, get your gun. Like, there's times when he's like, okay, he doesn't really know what the threat is. I can let him pass for not holding his gun up that time. But then there are times where he's aware of the threat. He's seen what it does to people. It tears them to shreds and puts them up in trees. He knows this. And when he goes out looking for it and then he hears it and he sees a part of it, he still doesn't take out his gun. Dude, you want to die. You have a death wish. And here's the sad thing. Indie horror has really breathed new life into the genre. Hush, amazing. Oculus, not amazing, but really good. The Conjuring even was originally an indie film. Amazing. Like, there's a lot of good indie horror out there. The original Evil Dead, the original Sam Raimi Evil Dead, that was an indie film, and it's considered a cult classic now. It's like, I expect something from indie horror because indie horror most of the time is really good. Lights Out, that 2-minute short film on YouTube, scared the crap out of me the first time I watched it, and still does. Eventually, it was made into a feature film, which was fairly like decent, by the way. But then when I watched Dark Was the Night, and I saw the premise. It was an indie horror film, and it was about these things, creatures living in the woods, terrorizing this small town. As an indie horror film premise, that is incredible. You have like limitless opportunities there. But then the way it was executed was the most lazy, sloppy, just not well done. Like, I don't know how else to word it. It was just the most... It wasn't the worst way they could have done it, but it was one of the worst ways they could have done it. And they succeeded in that, I guess. And not all parts were badly executed, I guess. I mean, there were some effective moments. Like I said, the opening 5 or 6 minutes, that fairly effective. I was on board. And even some scenes towards the end, there's some CGI used, which for a feature film, bad CGI. But for an indie horror film, I mean, it was pretty good. And they don't show it for like an absurd amount of times. There's actually a great moment where they realize, like, they look at this thing because they just killed one of them, and they realize that one of the guys shot it, because up until this point, they've only thought there was one. One of the guys shot it in the shoulder earlier and took like a whole chunk out of its shoulder, which, by the way, that's just so stupid. But back to this. He remembers shooting it, and it like blew off its shoulder pretty much, and they're looking at the one that they just killed, and that's not there. And then they look at each other and they realize, oh crap, there are multiple of these things. And then it shows them outside climbing on top of the church, just like a ton of them. I was like, dude, that is awesome. Like, if your movie up until that point had been good, that would have been a great ending. Like, that would have been so good, but just so many wasted opportunities. It was just so lazy, and just the way they did it, and man. And you know what's even worse? I read up on the film, and it was inspired by real-life accounts of a village in England in the 1850s. I'm not kidding. You can look this up right now. That film, Dark Was the Night, was inspired by real-life events in an 1850s small village surrounded by woods. Make that movie. Just make it based on those events of people maybe seeing things in the woods. Why didn't you just make that movie? No, you had to make it this pretentious, like, only primary colored film with mediocre CGI and dumb characters and bad dialogue. I will say the lead actor of Dark Was the Night, he actually did a good job. There was a moment towards the end of Dark Was the Night where it gets very emotional. You don't feel any of that emotion because you don't give a crap about any of the characters, but his performance was good. Like, his face was actually becoming red. His eyes were welling up. Like, I was like, dude, I want to see this guy in a good movie, you know? Like, he would be good in a good movie. But back to the original idea. Like I said, it was based on real-life accounts of people from an old 1850s village in England. Make that movie. Set it back in the 1850s. Have these people living in this village surrounded by woods. They're kind of paranoid, and like they think they see these creatures out in the woods, like an evil returning to the village. Now, granted, M. Night Shyamalan already did that with The Village. Like, it's set in the 1800s, and there's creatures in the woods and stuff. And of course, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil that film, but let's just say, I'll put it this way. And plus, I love The Village. A lot of people hate on it. The twists were badly executed, but I like the twists in theory. Back to what I was saying. If Dark Was the Night was based, they just made the movie about the village in the 1850s with the creatures in the woods. First of all, great. You have a great little suspense film right there. That would make a great indie film. Just do that. And have the creatures be real, and don't have the twist be that the movie is actually set in another time. Just have it actually be set in the 1850s. These villagers living in this village, 1850s, surrounded by woods. There's creatures in the woods that are coming to, like, you know, like haunt the town or attack the town. Great. Just great. Here's my pitch. Imagine 40 Days of Night, that movie where, you know, like, in Antarctica, how it's night for 40 days of the year, and the vampires come out, and vampires, can't survive in the daylight, but it's 40 days of night, so they can be there for 40 days terrorizing this town. Really surprisingly good film, by the way. Here's my pitch. Take 40 Days of Night, set it in the 1850s in a small village surrounded by woods, and make the vampires the woods creatures. There you go. There you go. And you wouldn't be criticized for copying off of 40 Days of Night, because that was a theatrical film, whereas Dark Was the Night was an indie film. And indie films require a simple premise most of the time, especially for an indie horror film. I don't know if you noticed, but most indie horror films have an extremely simple premise. Hush, lives secluded in the middle of the woods trying to write her book. All of a sudden, a killer shows up outside her window, trapping her inside, and she has to learn how to survive. Bam! Instant 2-hour thrill ride. Oculus, 2 kids witnessing their parents slowly go insane. Bam! 2-hour thrill ride. It's like, this is all you need. This is all you need. And granted, Oculus did have a release. It had a release in theaters, and even Dark Was the Night had a limited release in theaters, and that was just because the filmmakers had the money for that. And what I was like, they should have just made the movie exactly what it was based off of. That would have been a much more interesting film. Speaking of The Village, back to The Village. That is a Blu-ray that I really want. Because I love that movie. It is so underrated. And I searched for it. I went on Amazon. I was like, The Village Blu-ray. And they don't have it. It just doesn't exist. There's only a DVD transfer. So then I went on eBay. I was like, The Village Blu-ray. Nothing. Went to Blu-ray.com. The Village Blu-ray. Even Shout Factory. That specifically does this. They take films that don't have Blu-ray transfers and independently transfer it to Blu-ray, getting the rights from the Blu-ray company to make a Blu-ray of it. Even Shout Factory didn't have it. They transferred Unbreakable to Blu-ray, which wasn't necessarily one of his hits back in the day. They even transferred Lady in the Water to Blu-ray, which everyone hated. But they haven't transferred The Village to Blu-ray. Because The Village has developed a big following. More people today in our time are looking back on it and saying, you know what? That was actually a pretty good movie. Badly executed twist, but the twists themselves are good in theory. And they just haven't made a Blu-ray transfer of it. That is sad. That is really sad. And I know you're going to say, well, Xavier, you can go on iTunes and purchase The Village in 1080p. It's the same resolution as the Blu-ray. No! I say no. Physical media. Physical media. Now, if they never release a Blu-ray of it, sure. I will get it on iTunes and I'll still be able to watch it in 1080p. But if DVD is all I can do, then DVD is all I'm going to do. For example, when I purchased the entire series of Dawson's Creek, they didn't have a Blu-ray for this, and it was just DVD. And they're not planning to release Blu-rays of Dawson's Creek because it's Dawson's Creek. And I was like, you know what? Okay. I will settle for the DVD if that's all I can get. Speaking of which, while I love the design of this case, this is horribly packaged. Because the DVDs aren't in here anymore, I put them somewhere much safer. You open this up, and I'm going to show you exactly how these were packaged. There were 24 discs, 12 discs in here, 12 discs in here, okay? And then once you put 12 discs all stacked on top of each other, nothing dividing them, then you put this in here to make sure that they wouldn't fall out. What kind of horrible packaging is that? So, that's just bound for them to all get scratched within the first week of owning it. So I took them all out of that, got this movie case, completely rearranged it, took all 24 discs from that box, and put them in this case completely in order. Every single season of Dawson's Creek in here. That is great. That is great. And they're safe because this is fabric material and they're not going to get scratched. Much better. I'm still keeping the case because I love having it just there, and I threw that over there. Now I have to pick that up, leading to another much, like, very unprofessional portion of this thing where I once again have to stand up and expose my pajama pants. But you know what? I don't care. You guys aren't here to see overproduced, polished crap. You want raw, visceral entertainment? You come here to the Xaybeast YouTube channel. Yeah. The Xaybeast YouTube channel. You come here for raw, visceral entertainment. This is the place to go. So yeah, I'm still keeping this case even though it doesn't have the DVDs in it because it's just like I'm a collector. It's a collector's item. I have to have this stuff, you know? I have to have it. Have to have it. Have to have it. All right. Now, just over a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't know, I uploaded my review for Season 1 of Lost. And I have been watching Season 2, but Season 2 is twice as long as Season 1. So I've been trying to get through that. I'm on episode, like, 20 now. The next episode I'm going to watch is, like, my next episode is 21. Episode 21. And I think there's, like, 24, maybe 26 episodes. So that will be coming within the next month, definitely. But I'm also just not one to sit and only watch TV all day because that's just unhealthy. Just sitting there and then just finishing an episode, next episode, next episode. There are people who binge entire shows. Like, I know this one person who binged the entire show of Game of Thrones because he'd never seen it before. He binged the entirety of that show in a span of 2 weeks. A span of 2 weeks. Look at the massiveness of that show, okay? Watching all of that in a span of 2 weeks with each episode being 45 minutes long. Dude, I mean, I respect your commitment, and he uploaded a review for Season 8, which, you know, we all know how that went. And I respect the commitment, but come on, man. Like, here's the thing with Lost. I have to restrain myself because it is a very enthralling and bingeable show. It is that show that you want to just next episode, next episode, next episode. At a maximum, the most episodes of any show that I've ever watched in one day is 3. And even that is kind of stepping the boundary. Now I watch 1 or 2 episodes of Lost either like every other day, you know, to get through it and keep it at a steady pace because I also need to make sure I'm doing things that are healthy for me. Like, you know, I don't know, exercise and spending time with my family. Well, to be fair, I do spend a lot of time in my room during the day. Not just watching TV and movies though. I'm writing scripts. I'm coming up with ideas for YouTube videos that I want to make. Cleaning my room because every time I clean my room, it's like pitch perfect clean. Pitch perfect clean. Okay? And then it becomes messy like the very next day. The very next day. Yeah. So that's just something I can do every day. Every single day I can clean my room. Because I clean it, it gets messy the next day, okay, I can clean it back up. And normally I clean it while watching a YouTube video. In fact, while I was setting all of this up, because all of my lights were down, this stuff wasn't here, I had to rearrange things. While I was setting all that up, I had a YouTube video playing on my phone. It was propped over here, and it was an interview between 2 people. And it's like an hour and a half long, which is about as long as it took me to set this all up and, you know, dictate these parts of the stream. Visceral is a good word. Thank you very much, Father. Yeah, and like that's just it helps me work. Maybe not necessarily faster, just better. It motivates me more. Like if I have a movie or a show or a YouTube video playing, it helps me. I am really losing my voice here. Like my throat, like every time I talk, it hurts. Is that better? Let me think. I know it may sound a little weird to you guys, like it may sound kind of like sandpapery. I mean, I could just talk like this the whole time. I mean, would this be satisfying? Gargle salt water. That works. That works. This is not salt water. It does have the ocean on it, which is salt water, so I can gargle the ocean if you want me to. Or maybe I can just gargle normal water. On live TV, no less. That was disgusting. But again, raw, visceral entertainment. I don't regret that. I don't regret that one bit. Not one. Okay? See, episode 1 was so much better because I had the 30-day film challenge thing and we had things to talk about. That's what I was hoping we would talk about. But we're not talking about that. Like, because we finished it last time. We finished it. I mean, would we just go through it again? No, because people would just have the same answers. So you want to do trivia? Let's do some trivia. I'm going to see how much you guys know about the film industry, keeping in mind that there is a couple minutes delay. So like if I ask you a question and then you guys comment, I might not see that comment until 2 minutes later when I've already moved on to the next question. So just keep that in mind, but I will undoubtedly read all of your comments. Here we go. 100 fun movie questions. To stump all your film-loving friends. Question. What are the dying words of Charles Foster Kane in Citizen Kane? You guys have... Actually, let me go to my stopwatch. Yeah, it's like a game show. We can do that. Don't answer yet. And don't look it up. I know so many of you are going to look it up and just don't, because that is just such cheating. All right. You guys have 30 seconds to tell me what the dying words of Charles Foster Kane were in Citizen Kane. Go. Go, go, go. The dying words of Charles Foster Kane in Citizen Kane. Three, two, one, bam. All right. Now keep in mind that I guess there's no point in the timer actually because of the delay. It makes no sense for me to do the timer wait because yeah, that was dumb, but we can still go through the questions. Oh, they have a no answers version. Okay. All right, we are at the no answers version now. Because I don't want to cheat either. I'm just going to see if I knew this stuff. Okay, so what are the dying words of Charles Foster Kane in Citizen Kane? I do know this because I recently watched a movie review for Citizen Kane. Rosebud. They are Rosebud. That is his dying word. Who played Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate? Oh, who was that? Who played her in The Graduate? It was Anne something. Ugh. Dang it. I completely forgot. I completely forgot. What? Who played her? I'm sorry. I don't... Okay, let's go. Anne Bancroft. It was Anne Bancroft. What was the first feature-length animated movie ever released? Everyone knows that. It was Snow White. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In The Matrix, does Neo take the blue pill or the red pill? These are extremely easy questions. The red pill, come on. For what movie did Tom Hanks score his first Academy Award nomination? His first Academy Award nomination. Was it Saving Private Ryan? It was Saving Private Ryan, right? Let me look it up. Well, actually, you guys comment first and tell me what movie? Philadelphia. Let's see. Wrong. Wrong. You want me to tell you what it actually was? Let me tell you. This might shock you. Big. It was Big. I'm not lying. I promise you I'm not lying. It is right here. For what movie did Tom Hanks score his first Academy Award nomination? Question 5 right there. It was Big. It was Big. Yeah. I don't believe it either. What 1927 musical was the first talkie? The Jazz Singer. Everyone knows that. It was the Jazz Dude. These are like extremely easy questions. Well, I guess I should be making sure I'm right. Yeah, it was the Jazz Singer. All right. What's the name of the skyscraper in Die Hard? Haven't seen Die Hard, but I know this. It was something Plaza. It was Nakatu. It was like not. Was it not Nakatu Plaza? Nakatomi. Let's see if that is right. Yes, that is correct, sir. It was Nakatomi Plaza. What flavor of Pop-Tarts does Buddy the Elf use in his spaghetti in Elf? Okay, how would I know that? How would anyone know that? I'm not going to go back and pull up Elf on my phone and rewatch that movie just to get that answer. So if any of you know, comment. Let me know if you know what flavor of Pop-Tarts Buddy used in Elf. In his spaghetti when he broke up some Pop-Tarts in the spaghetti. Let me know if you know that. I will give you a little bit of time since there is a delay. And in the meantime, I'm going to drink out of this fabulous cup. Yeah, no one's commenting because no one's going to know that information, man. The correct answer is chocolate. Predictable. All right. What shocking Wes Craven horror movie carried the marketing tagline, "To avoid fainting, keep repeating. It's only a movie"? Okay, let me read this again. What Wes Craven horror movie had the tagline, "To avoid fainting, keep repeating. It's only a movie"? What Wes Craven film carried that tagline? You can probably look up the tagline and tell me. I am going to guess maybe let's read that tagline again. To avoid fainting, keep repeating, it's only a movie. In the Mouth of Madness? I think it might have been In the Mouth of Madness. Was that the movie? I don't know. I'm reading this. Forget it, man. I can't. I gotta go to the answer. The Last House on the Left, which I have not seen. What pop vocal group performs at the wedding in Bridesmaids? Ha! I have not seen Bridesmaids. But maybe you guys know, because I know a lot of people love that movie. What pop vocal group performs at the wedding in Bridesmaids? Comment, let me know. There's only one person commenting. No one? No one whatsoever? Okay, guys. You know what? I'm going to get real with you for a second. There are 3 people watching this stream, okay? Only one person is commenting. One person! Come on, guys. You can comment. It's okay. I'm not... Like, I mean, it's fine. But, I mean, you're welcome. Don't be scared. Leave me comments. Leave me your answers. What real life, on again, off again Hollywood power couple starred in the film Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? What real life, on again, off again Hollywood power couple starred in the film Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? I know Elizabeth Taylor was in Virginia Woolf. Is she an on again, off again with someone? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Elizabeth Taylor. But who's the guy then? Who is the significant other that they are referring to? I don't know. I'm guessing neither do you, because no one's commenting. This is so much worse than episode 1. We're an hour and 20 minutes in and only 3 people are watching. I'm failing. I mean, sure, it might help next time if I either have a guest or I have topics to discuss. Maybe it'll help if that's a thing. Maybe I should make each stream all about one thing. Like, for example, we were talking about video game movies at the beginning of this. Maybe each episode can be about one specific topic, you know? Like maybe this episode, well, I mean, obviously not now because we're almost an hour and a half into it, but maybe one episode could be all about video game movies. Another episode could be all about maybe just one movie and the production or whatever. Or maybe, and then another episode could be all about like one TV show where I have a guest on or a friend of mine. Whoa, my voice went really hoarse there. But like one episode could be completely about one TV show where I have a guest on or a friend of mine. And we both like have seen the show, like the whole show, and we could talk about it. That'd be cool. Down to only 2 people watching right now because this stream is getting unbearably boring. I completely did this on a whim. Like literally when I decided to do this stream today, I wasn't planning on it. Like I was just sitting on my bed, scrolling through my Instagram, then I was like, wait a second. Is today Saturday? I swiped down from the top and it says Saturday, May 9th. I'm like, oh crap. I don't want to skip another weekend because then that's just complete betrayal. So then I was like, oh crap, I got to do this live show. So then very quickly I set up all my stuff, put out my lights while watching that interview, and then bam, here I am. No previous preparation whatsoever. Nothing. Except the new additions with the Kylo Ren and the mini Hitchcock posters that I put up over there. That's about it. Like, that is literally it. Yeah. You know how the original stream was going to be an hour and a half long, but we pushed it to 2 hours? This stream is currently at 124, an hour and 24 minutes. I might end this at an hour and a half because barely anyone's watching, only 2 people, only 1 like. Not very many people commenting, so yeah. This episode was lousy. I'll give it that. But episode 3, I will be prepared with written down topics and listed things and things that we can talk about, and I will publicize it better. A little quick note here. I have to leave now. Thanks so much for watching the stream, guys. But again, little quick note. In the first episode, I said that this is going to be every Saturday. I might push that to every other Saturday. Every other Saturday. Maybe not. Yeah. And then some Saturdays I just might not be able to do it because of family stuff or, you know, just personal things. But yeah, this was a very lousy, like incredibly lousy stream. But I guess thanks so much for watching, guys. It really does mean a lot. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, keep writing, keep shooting, and keep editing. And I'm going to end it now.